All right. Can we have quiet in the hall? I was a teacher for like 15 years, so quiet in the hall, please. All right. So, super excited to have the one and only Mason Guidry here for a performance and another Q&A. This dude is out of this world, so make sure you come on over to the BW booth and check it out. Thank you so much. Woo. Mason.
My name is Mason, and it's a super good day to be here. I'm just going to play a little bit. Feel free to come in closer if you want to. I'm not sure how the sound carries in the room, but we're just going to explore. Man, honestly, drums is not... It's very interesting as time goes on. The instrument starts to kind of inspire your creative mind, kind of like what our other clinician was talking about earlier today. It gets to a point to where you really don't have to fish for it. You know, if you just hear it, if you just trust what you feel. Exploring time will kind of break the bonds that you think you have, whether that be metrically or creatively or even on the instrument. So that's kind of the approach I'm going to take here. We'll just explore some time and see where it spits us out, and then we'll jump into some questions. All right, here we go. Everybody, please give a round of applause for Burke and W Cymbals, man. These instruments inspire me on a level that's beyond my greatest dreams, and I'm super grateful for you, Burke. Thank you so much. And these drums, man. My brother Ethan built these. These are some. Give him a round of applause. In class, they say, give him a hand, and then all the kids used to run up.
Like, what are you doing? I'm giving him my hand.
But yeah, give him a hand. Don't cut off your hands. And yeah, I just thank you guys for having me here. And we're gonna groove. All right, I'm tired of talking. Here we go.
Warmed up, bro? You need like some hot pockets or something.
Is there any questions, comments, or concerns? Yes, I can. No, I'm just kidding. But seriously, yes.
Yeah, I just get your right foot on the bass to just be so, its own thing. How do you work on that?
There's a couple of things. So, watched a lot of players. There was a guy came when I was coming up named Virgil Donati. I became really close with Virgil Donati when I was 13. And I would hear the phrases he would play with like a double kick pedal, like, the syncopated stuff. And I would say to myself, what he can do with 2 feet, I'm gonna try to do with 1. So I would legit sit there. And the drum corps side of me also, being able to orchestrate rhythms in not just typical ways that you can conceive from a kit, but kind of having the placement wherewithal. Because if you've ever marched, then you'll understand how some things are segmented, The snares will come forward, Bass drums come out of nowhere. And then the tenors come out of nowhere,
That's
so it's like being able to hear. So it's like being able to hear, thank you. Being able to hear, one more time for Burke, everybody, man. But just being exposed to that kind of orchestration, tenors crescendoing it, bass drums crescendo, that type of isolation in terms of rhythmic orchestration here is still kind of present, being able to isolate certain instruments in order to pull off a certain phrase versus looking at the drum set and saying, I have this lick that I want to insert here. Instead of inserting the lick there, you can think of very interesting ways between the sounds that are in front of you to kind of orchestrate. And then kind of in that way, things kind of come out different, and it leads you to that next place of creativity, So that's kind of how the bass drum thing kind of came about, just thinking of the kick drum as an individual instrument that has nothing to do with anything else here. And if I think of a phrase that's a bass drum specific phrase, then I will be able to put that idea out on that instrument, and that's kind of how you'll come out with ideas or, groups. Stuff like,
being able to take instruments or take specific instruments and isolate certain ideas on certain instruments to create phrases as well. You know, so I'm not sure if that answers your question in terms of like bass drum.
Do you think the kick stems a lot of the other sounds then? Do you think the other stuff plays off that more than other instruments?
No.
Not necessarily?
No. But it's the kick drum is a fun instrument. Yeah. It's a fun instrument. I didn't know what that means. Any other questions?
How long do you practice?
So I used to practice 13 hours a day.
Can attest.
I used to practice 13 hours a day. So I would wake up at, say, like 9 or 10, right? If I wanted to sleep in, cool, 10:30. You know, lunch, all that stuff. Go into the practice room at 1 o'clock in the afternoon. So 1 o'clock, 2 p.m., 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, midnight. Right? So what's that? 1. So that's 12 hours. So, right? 1 o'clock would be 13. So 14 almost. Because I would head home at around like 3 a.m. And then I would go to bed and wake up at, 10, 10:30, do it all again. Ethan used to.
I was gonna say, this is factual. Like,
Yeah.
I would go meet Mason at 9 p.m. He'd have already been practicing for 8 hours, and then we would literally leave at 3 a.m. This would happen like
Yeah.
every single time.
Yeah, because there were times where Ethan was like, yeah, man, I want to come over, I want to practice with you. So I wouldn't wait for him.
You'd be all there.
Like, I would be practicing until I got there, until he got there. And then it's like, okay, cool. Mason, how long have you been practicing? 11 billion hours. Okay, I'm just getting here, and I just ate, so I'm ready to burn some energy. Let's go. 17 million hours later. We're stepping out of there like, whoo, man. I wish we could still go. But yeah, Ethan, yep, 13 hours.
Not an exaggeration.
I used to practice about 13 hours. Yeah. What's up?
Oh.
Little. And then
So, I was wondering where you got the idea to put those little cymbals upside down.
interesting. Okay. So these are called, excuse me, I almost tripped and lost my line. These are called chimes. These are chime bells. And they're a lot heavier than they look from where you are. But don't let the small size fool you. These are heavy. And I got the idea because I figured that if you take thicker cymbals that have a vibration and a tone, and you put them right in the middle of drums, which heads are also held at different tensions, then you'll get different tones depending on how the vibration travels across the tension. So then I started messing around and putting them in different places and turning them upside down, and I'm like, man, this is different. And plus, I also don't play any rack toms. I just have 2 snares and a floor tom, and that's it. So these little chime bells really, really, really help. And then there's situations where I'll play both of them at the same time, like, I'll do something like all the bell grooves, like hi-hat bell stuff. All right. Okay, let's do it. interesting bell stuff, especially like between, with down. And then on the side snare here, sometimes I use them just to kind of mess with like the surface area. I like to get that good little smack sometime. And then with the snares on. And then putting different chimes changes the way it sounds. Like now this is gonna sound completely different. The rim shot's gonna sound different. You hear that? Weird stuff. But that's what I got on here, man. Just messing around with. I definitely don't play hot potato with them in the middle of the gigs if that's what you're thinking. That would be kind of funny. It's hot. Oh yeah. And
yeah, I was wondering if you could talk about, so like with Jonathan Scales, his music's really hard. There's lots of odd times, but there's also like lots of weird hits. I was wondering if you could talk about your approach to soloing, say like the trap. Like there's a lot of like the 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, that part, and then the open solo in 9. Like I was wondering how you navigate like odd times, but there's also the weird hits too.
so interesting. So the reason why I think it was cool to open up with a solo this way was just so you guys could be introduced to how easy it is to explore time, and kind of for time to let whatever rhythmic idea that is trying to occur accumulate, So I feel like when you add music to the mixture, there now becomes these things sonically that you can latch onto, but also things being the drummer that kind of make exploring the music and time fun. So, for example, let's say the trap. We have, for anybody who doesn't know Jonathan Scales, he's a crazy steel pan artist with blue eyes, and he be looking at me like this on stage. And I love it, it's awesome. All right. But there's a song that he has called The Trap, and it's just, I'm gonna try and sing it. But there's a special part in the song where we do these insane, crazy, complicated hits. And what he's asking is how to explore playing that. So the part goes like this. Let's start doing this one here. So exploring that part for me was super fun because I feel like where the hits line up, it's kind of all on the grid.
Right.
So it's like no matter I've gotten to the point where it's like, okay, you can flip it up, you can flip it down, you can put it in some flour, you can put some Cajun seasoning on it. Because I said flip it up and flip it down, so I might as well just continue talking about it. I'm hungry. But it's okay. Flip it up, rev it down, put some Cajun seasoning on it, and just place it right in the skillet and let it fry. I know you guys really think I'm talking about like fish or something, but I'm actually talking about kind of like what he's saying in terms of jumping in rhythmically with those ideas. Metrically, that's not going to change. That's not going to change. So messing around with those hits, those concepts, you get crazy stuff. You know. That's how I'll be on the gig, the actual gig. I'm like, oh my God, Jonathan, why is it so fast? I'm sorry, that was so funny. That was like a tour memory. But yes, you had a question.
Yeah, could you talk a little bit about why your choice in using such large hi-hats, and also, do you ever play any other instruments on the left side of the kit from the drummer's perspective? Okay. That was needed.
Okay, hi-hats. There's two sides. So, hi-hats this size also kind of come from, again, just my symphonic experience, playing in symphony pits, orchestral pits, you know, hand concert crashes, or even marching. That sound, that texture, that's another reason why they're this big. Because it matches most of the field sounds that I have going on here. They're pretty earthy. You know, like, these are pretty earthy sounds to me. They're like very fieldy almost. You know? They sound like almost orchestral, you know? Not your common drum set sounds. But I used to play tom-toms, and I had some 14-inch hats, like a regular person. And somebody cracked my 14-inch hats. And they were like some one-of-ones or like some, you know, prototype type stuff. So I couldn't get them again. The sound was gone or cracked. So some guy was like, yo man, I got some 13-inch, you know, got some 13-inch manhole covers for you to try out if you would like. I'm just like, cool, yeah, let's do it. It's a great idea, thank you. And then I tried it and it was I didn't like it. So it was so bad, I was like, I would rather play the 18-inch crash cymbals on my kit at the time. I would rather play my 18-inch crash cymbals than play these 13-inch. So I gave them to somebody, and I literally took the 18 off here, the 18 from here. So I used to have a left side, I used to have all this stuff over here. I used to have to play a regular kit. But when I took those 18s off, you know, I had an 8, I had a 10, and a 12-inch rack tom. You know, rack toms. But the cymbals were so wide that they were rubbing up against the shell of there just wasn't enough room. So I took off the 8, and I just had, you know, 10, 12, 14, or 16, 14, 16, one ride, one crash. And I'm like, okay, this is still weird. So I took off the rest of the toms, and I'm like, okay, since I don't have any toms, I decided to go with 2 snares, because there's this guy I used to listen to, study with growing up named Jeff Queen. He's like another drum corps cat, and he's insane. And he would have two marching snares side by side, so they were like twin marching snares, but one of them had a high tension Kevlar head on it, and the other one had like a traditional plastic, like a Mylar head or something. And one of them had more of a traditional tuning, and the other one had a more high tension tuning. And he would just go back and forth between the 2 marching snares in between his solo. So that's kind of what inspired me to just go 2 snares instead of having any rack toms at all. Because I figured that I could just get all the tones that I'll ever need out of 2 drums instead of a million. And it also leaves space for the hats. So, because I had to fight for so long to have room for them here, now I don't have anything. It's just like I have this cushion of, it's like I could just swing. This is all mic area. So that's the reason why I don't play anything here, is because it's like, finally you have your space. You be as big as you want. Yeah. But that's kind of how the hats and nothing here and this and all of that. But the sounds though, all of the sounds, I'm still familiar with all the sounds. So I just figured I would, just incorporate them into the kit. And these sizes kind of allow me to replicate those sounds on a kit. Yeah. Any other questions? Comments, concerns?
Do you like rabbits?
Man, look, let me tell you something. It's funny, tricks are not for kids, but you're a kid, and you just asked me this question, so it's like, it's pretty crazy. I do like rabbits. Isn't Easter coming up?
Yeah.
Oh my God, chocolate bunnies, come on, man.
Because of your hat.
Yeah, man. I have you ever seen this movie called The Last Mimsy? Anybody know about The Last Mimsy? That's such a cool movie. Nobody talks about that movie. It's so underrated, but you should go watch that movie. You're gonna go home. It's like, Mom, Dad, they got robots. It's gonna be crazy. Any other questions? Comments, concerns? I'm sorry, I can't even really see on this side. Any comments, questions, anybody?
I got one.
Yes.
Kind of curious as to you to, I'm curious to speak on this. The music's changing, the role and even the necessity of drummers, like studio drummers, is kind of changing. I'm a little bit, and almost by default, a lot of drummers end up, you get the production just by, what it is and the necessity of the instrument. I just kind of want to hear you speak a little bit about the role of drummers in 2025 and beyond, and kind of where things are headed, and just how do you see yourself and like the human drummer and the element of the human drummer working into how the industry is? That's a good question. It's huge. It's a lot.
I will always, I guess I can say that the human element of musicality will always be present.
Yes, sir.
And no matter how much things evolve, I still feel like there will be a longing in it. It's like, for example, and I may be wrong, but I think DW now is pushing out these electronic, right? It's like, I think the DW days are over. I think it's like now a rolling DW type thing, right? So my predictions, years ago, I would talk to some of my friends, I'd be like, yo, man. And it's really funny how we all can get in a room like this and really appreciate builders, guys who make these instruments, man, and make these instruments with purpose and make these instruments with intention. Because I feel like we're headed in a time, or we're headed in a direction to where there's lots of people who are they're becoming quicker to cut corners. And when you cut corners in any aspect of life, man, you're kind of siphoning the opportunity to experience real things. Like, it's really, really hard to describe. So in terms, or even like the Super Bowl that just happened, lots of people are like, okay, it's a cool performance, but what was missing? There was no live band. Kendrick Lamar did the track thing, but I feel like we need more hands, man. We need more hands. We need more of the feeling element in the instruments, in the making of the instruments. And that helps us connect, and it helps us stay relevant with one another in terms of the emotion that we put out on the instruments. You know, I don't. I feel like the more you try to replace the natural element of either humanity or the feelings that, you know, we can put out, or even the instruments that we create, you know, I feel like there's still going to be that longing for the traditional. You know, I don't care how many electric drum sets come out. I guarantee you there's still going to be, somewhere in Virginia, there's still going to be some drum show going on once a year, you know? That's actually touching real cymbals and heads and drums, and so, I don't even know if that answered your question, did it? Kinda?
Be unique.
Yeah.
Kind of touch the human element.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because also think about it, man, and I say this too. You know, I feel like drums, music, all of those things are important because we know how to do everything to one another. You know, we know how to make each other feel sad. We know how to make each other feel happy. We know how to make each other cry. We know how to inflict fear into someone, or we know how to make someone feel loved, to make someone feel anxious. Every human emotion makes someone feel sad, makes someone remember, makes someone angry. Every human emotion and thing that we can do to each other, there's only one invisible thing that can affect humans the exact same way without having to lift a finger or touch anyone physically or even say a word. And it's music. Music can make someone happy. Music can make someone sad. Music can drive someone insane. Music can make someone relaxed. Music can strike fear into someone. Music can remind someone of a moment. So it's like music can actually affect humans the exact same way humans can affect humans. So it's just impossible to kind of break that. I don't care how much you try to implement rolling drums in between there, but you know, like it's gonna, I feel like we'll forever need each other, and these instruments are gonna be here for us, man, as long as we stay true to them, and just let our minds run on these things, man. We'll be good. We'll be all right. Yeah. Yeah. Just a couple more, and then I'll probably I'll just do a closing solo. Or,
You ever make soundscapes, personal soundscapes, what angling your cymbals and everything differently to sort of have it all reflect in different
No.
ways? Okay.
But there has been some times in studio sessions where you know, my setup doesn't change pretty much. It's, you know, I kind of set up my drums the same way every time. So there's been times where I've kind of worked with the sound engineer on putting maybe the condenser mics in certain positions to see how they pick up the cymbals on recordings. And then just seeing what works, and yeah.
In a studio session, how many mics would you have on your kits?
Not too many. It just depends on how elaborate or what kind of sound the engineer and you know, I don't really have a say in that. But man, there's been some sessions where cats have put like 3 mics on my kick drum. And I'm just like, man, where are those mics when we need to fart or something, man? Just imagine just 3 mics, just yeah, man, just turn up the EQ, just add a little bit of the tweeter. I'm sorry, man. Yeah.
Hey, what's your favorite Burke cymbal?
My favorite Burke cymbal. Oh man.
Favorite Burke's work cymbal?
Pick your favorite child.
I don't know if I have a
You don't have it.
favorite. I don't have a favorite because each and every, I use them all for various musical ideas. Like I know exactly which one, and so just getting to grow the instruments and play the instruments on tour and in clinics and things like this. They're very fun, to say the least. Sometimes I feel like these instruments, they allow me to hear things just because of how they interact with one another and just the frequencies. And so I don't think I have a favorite, man. That's tough. I don't think I have a favorite. I don't think I do. Berg, which one is your favorite?
The red one. Yep.
Okay, so that.
Yep.
That's my. See.
Yep.
I love that. I do. And to say I don't love it would be a lie. I love it. But to say that I don't like the others, you see what I mean? I love them all. I just love all of them. I love them. Yeah. Yeah, I don't have a favorite. I'm so sorry. I am so sorry. I'm pretty sure that's the answer you did not want to get. But I'm so sorry. I love them all.
It makes sense.
I love them all. Yeah, this China is so cool, man. It's like a 22 China. It's like a ride cymbal, though. And a bell. Yeah, very interesting sounds. Yeah, I played that at PASIC for the first time. I did this like whole setup at PASIC last year. So this is my second time doing this out. So it's pretty fun. Yeah, these cymbals are insane. Thank you, Bert. We love you. Any other questions, anyone? Questions, comments, concerns? If not, I will play one more, and I will get out your way. My name is Mason, man. Thank you guys so much for your attention and your love and your support. Give yourself a round of applause for being here. Give Ethan a round of applause for the repertoire. Give Bert a round of applause. Thank you guys for being here and having me. And I got one more, and I'll get out right out your way. Thank you guys for having me, man. Thank you. Thank you.
Let's see.
Mason Guidry, everybody.